Welcome to the official Heisman Trophy podcast.
Chuck Conrad with a kickoff. Roy is a strong leg, end over end. Sanders takes it 1 yard deep to the end zone. Up the middle, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. He's at the 40, he's at 45, 50, 45, 40, 31, 30, 41, 20, 50, 10, 5, touchdown, Cowboys. Just like last year, a clean start. Roll out.
Here's your host, Chris Houston.
All right, we're back with a special bonus episode of the Heisman Trophy podcast. We are talking to USC wide receiver Makai Lemon, one of the best players in the country, maybe the best receiver. He is a prime candidate for the Biletnikoff Award this year, could be USC's second Biletnikoff, joining Marquise Lee back in 2012. We've never had a bonus episode before, so I hope you enjoy. Consider it a little Halloween treat. USC's Makai Lemon is one of the best receivers in the country, if not the best. He is second nationally with 108.3 receiving yards per game to go with 48 catches through 7 games. He also returns punts and kicks, and that helps him rank 5th nationally in all-purpose yards per game at 133 yards per. Makai, welcome to the Heisman Trophy podcast.
Appreciate you for having me on.
You are 7 games into this season, and you've been playing great. But if you go back over the last 15 games, back to last year, you've got 94 catches for 1,440 yards. That's really outstanding production. Something happened around halfway through last year where you just caught fire and it hasn't stopped since. So what was it that got you going midway through your sophomore season?
I feel like it was just me just staying the course. Me just keep putting in the work, really not paying attention to too many things, but just trying to get better as a whole, as a whole player. So I feel like I've been trending in the right direction with that.
Was there a specific play that gave you the confidence that you could play at this level?
I feel like it was not just one specific play, but I feel like just over the course of things, just keep stacking these games and keep stacking these weeks. I feel like that played a big part in that.
You briefly had a stint as a freshman where you filled in at cornerback. How difficult was it as a freshman to not really have a set position yet?
It wasn't really too difficult. I feel like the coaches made it smooth, for me, and I feel like, really just trying to be the best player I am, doesn't matter what position or where I'm at on the field. As
your sophomore year started, you didn't get off to a great start. How did you keep your faith in the development process, and what helped you through that period?
I feel like, just keeping my trust in God, and I really feel like my family, really just telling me, just to stay the course, and just keep things going, and just never give up and really just believe in yourself.
Let's go back to the beginning. When did you start playing football?
I started playing football when I was maybe, 4 years old, man. When I was knee high, I feel like I just fell in love with it ever since then.
Were you one of those kids who always had a football in his hands walking around?
Yeah, definitely. I was always wanting to be outside, playing catch with my aunts and uncles, not really just inside. So I feel like that was, me from since childhood.
When did an adult say, wow, you really have good hands, Makai?
That's a tough one. I feel like when I was younger, just playing catch with my dad, he always knew that I had natural hands and had an eye for the ball. So I feel like as I got older, it just got better.
I feel like when you have really good hands, there's like a lot of pride about it. Like there's a little bit of cockiness if you have really good hands. When did you develop that cockiness that you were just going to catch the ball if it was in the area?
I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't say it's cockiness. I would just say it's just more, I don't know. I feel like I'm just trusting in myself and just being, the player I am.
Yeah. When did you realize that you might have a chance to play more than just high school football?
I feel like when I got my first offer, I feel like that gave me the, the confidence knowing that, I got the talent to play at the next level. So I feel like I just try to get better, and here I am today.
You originally committed to Lincoln Riley when he was at Oklahoma, and then you followed him to USC. His system is obviously friendly to receivers and quarterbacks. What are you at your position explicitly asked to do in this offense?
In his offense, it's obviously, to score touchdowns. So I feel like, I'm here, to do that. And I feel like the coaches, trust me enough, to do that. So, just backing up their word, just do what I got to do and do my job at the best.
You've got a great blend of skills. You're tough. You got strong hands. You can get yards after the catch. You make the first guy miss. You got sideline awareness, and you're a plus return guy. How much of that skill set comes naturally, like just stuff you're already good at? How much of it came from just repetitions and experience?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like a lot of it is God-given talent. I just got to give him the glory for that. And then I feel like just over the years, my pops, started me, since a child, all the training and all the hard work that I put in, over the years, just paid off.
You made some of the best catches of the year so far that I've seen. There's a big one against Illinois, of course, but I think the best one was that touchdown against Michigan. Do you remember much about that play? And can you walk me through a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. I remember like it was yesterday, man. I just had a slot fade. I knew it was man. I just had to win the rep. We practiced it all week. During the week, so I already knew where the ball was gonna be at. And Jaden made a perfect play, so I just had to go over there and just make the catch.
What are you thinking about when the ball's in the air? Or are you thinking at all, or was it all just reaction?
Yeah, a lot of it is just reaction. A lot of reps put in during the week, so when I'm in the game, I'm not thinking too much about it. It's just most natural.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's do a few rapid fire questions here. What's your favorite part about playing receiver?
Scoring touchdowns.
Who's your favorite USC receiver from the past?
Marquise Lee.
I hear you talk to Marquise Lee a bit, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'd be seeing him on campus. I actually had a class with him, so I was able to get key advice from him. So I'm just blessed to be around him for sure.
You guys are kind of similar in a way. You both came in. You could have played either receiver or defensive back. He kind of came in the same way. What did he do as a receiver that made you want to emulate him?
I feel like he was just great, all around receiver. I feel like I just don't want to limit myself to just one thing, and I feel like that stood out with him. Just really just trying to make a play every time the ball comes his way. It doesn't matter if it's a deep ball, or a short route. Just try to make the best out of every opportunity.
What do you like better, returning punts or returning kicks?
I think punts for sure.
What type of defenders present you with the biggest challenge?
I would say maybe like a long defender.
Mm-hmm.
He has a long reach. He can get his arms on you. I feel like that's my answer.
Who's been like the toughest defender you've gone up against this year so far? Like who's giving you the most trouble?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'd probably say this past week in Notre Dame, Moore, number 15. He's a great player, great instinct. So definitely we'll say him.
What did he do differently that some other guys didn't do or couldn't do?
I feel like what I just said, his length.
Yeah.
He has long arms. He is a tall guy. So I feel like he used that to his advantage, and I feel like he's a great player.
Do you have any superstitions on or off the field?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think I got too many superstitions.
All right. What do you wish fans understood about playing college football?
That we just don't show up on Saturdays and hoop. There's a lot that goes into, Saturdays, a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication into this. So, I feel like that's the things that they don't see.
Mm-hmm. What's a bad habit you're trying to get rid of?
Bad habit, probably, eating too much candy. I got a sweet tooth, I got to cut down on that. Sure.
Halloween coming up, you got to be careful.
100%.
What's the best part of your golf game, and who's better at golf, you or Jacoby Lane?
I'll probably say my putting. I feel like my putting is my strong game, and I feel like Kobe, he's a better all around golfer. From the driver to the chipping, and I get my techniques from him.
Jaden Maava was on the show earlier in the season. He said his special talent that no one knows about is that he can juggle. So, what's your hidden talent?
Hidden talent? I don't think I got too many hidden talents.
No?
Maybe I say skateboarder.
Yeah.
Not too many people know that I skateboard. So
I heard a rumor about that you skateboarded. Where did you used to go skateboard?
Maybe just around the neighborhood. I picked it up from my uncle when I was like a very young kid. So I feel like it always stuck to me, and I feel like that's one thing that I kind of like doing.
Kind of helps with body control too, right? It helps you when you're going up as a receiver, just contorting your body, that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely, and a lot of balance for sure.
Yeah. Well, Makai Lemon, thanks for coming on the Heisman Trophy podcast. Good luck this weekend. Good luck to you, and good luck to the Trojans the rest of the year.
I appreciate you for having me on. I appreciate everything. You have a good one.
You too, Makai. All right, thanks for tuning in to our bonus episode, our special Halloween episode with Makai Lemon. USC plays Nebraska this weekend. Should be a good one. If you enjoy our content, please show us some love. Give us a like, a subscription, a review, a comment. Tell your family, tell your friends. We'd surely appreciate it. And if you want to see a video of this interview, go over to YouTube or to TikTok. Next week, Blake Horvath, Navy quarterback, joins the show. Have a great weekend, everybody. The Heisman Trophy podcast streams every Wednesday during the college football season and is hosted, produced, edited, and engineered by Chris Houston. The pod is available on all streaming networks, including Spotify and Apple Music, and features video interviews and bonus content on YouTube and TikTok. We also have a Reddit community. Special shout out to Isaac Lowenkron, and big thanks to Rob Whalen, Tim Henning, and the Heisman Trust for their support. Reach out to us via email at pod@heisman.com for feedback and commentary.